Welcome to Nasdaq Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq. Joining me is Philip Newman, Managing Director at Metals Focus, for an update on gold and silver fundamentals, potential Fed and U.S. national election impact and outlook. Philip, it's great to see you again. Welcome back to Trade Talks.
Oh, good to be here. Thanks for having me.
And Philip, last time we spoke, the macro backdrop has shifted a bit with the Fed telegraphing accommodative policy for at least the next 3 years. What's your thoughts as it relates to gold prices?
Well, I think when we heard that news, it really sort of solidified our view, our bullish view for gold, at least for this year, and also I think into 2021, and perhaps further out as well.
Well, of course, everyone in the US for sure is talking about potential election impact on the markets, and that's going to impact everyone globally. What are your thoughts as it relates to precious metals, particularly gold?
Well, I think, to be honest, I think the far more important determinant will be the macro backdrop. When we think about the election, whether that goes one way or the other, I think that really doesn't detract from the positive outlook for gold. We've seen, I think, both sides of the House trying to put together a fiscal stimulus policy, whether that's signed off before or after the election. I think that still seems exceedingly likely. So I think really, given that's where both sides of the divide are really heading, I think ultimately that's still going to be very sort of gold and positive for other precious metals as well, for that matter.
Right, and speaking of other precious metals, silver also had quite a run as well.
That's very true. And I think that is partly because of where gold is heading. And because we are positive on gold, we see gold heading back over $2,000 before the end of this year. And into 2021 and really holding at those levels. And I think where we've seen for silver is that because it is a far smaller market than gold, it can outperform gold to the upside. And I think that's been a key reason why we've seen the gold silver ratio fall. If you remember earlier this year, it hit decade level highs of around 130 or getting on for that. Over the past month or so, it's fallen significantly to around the 70 level. Now back over around 80, but I think even allowing for that, and even with the uncertain macro backdrop, given we are seeing investors rotating into precious metals, that's why we've seen ETF holdings of gold at record highs, ETF holdings of silver at record highs as well. And I think that really is testament to the strength of the interest that we're seeing by investors in these metals. And I think that's why we could see silver perhaps getting back towards, the 30 level, perhaps by the end of this year. And if not in the end of this year, I think into 2021.
Are there other areas in the precious metals markets that have caught your attention?
Well, I think if you look at platinum and palladium, I think platinum is also doing a little bit better. That's benefiting also from the strength in gold. Even though its underlying fundamentals are perhaps not so supportive, it's certainly benefited, I think, from investors looking at gold, thinking that platinum is undervalued, and I think we're therefore seeing some inflows there. I think what's interesting for palladium is how well it's held up. So, for example, when we have seen bouts of liquidations that have hit the other metals, I think palladium has certainly held up. And that's one, again, where I think we'll be looking forward to. I think even allowing for perhaps, weakness in the automotive sector, I think taking the longer view, I think, again, we think that palladium will do very well.
All right, Philip, appreciate the update. Thanks for joining us on Trade Talks.
Pleasure.
And thanks for joining me. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq.